Hey, hi, all. Welcome back to BLR Knowledge Center. So, in this today's session, we'll look at Go language variable declarations, like how to declare a variable and how it is takes my defined variable data type and stores value into storage space, and also how to define multiple variables and how to assign a value, and then we'll see a sample program with variable declaration and how it is executing. So let's quickly get into this and see what is the variable part in Go language. So as I said, so variable is the main source in the program. So every program looks at a variable and its data type before they write some program, because it's all about storing of values in the memory when it requires to be repeatedly using in the sequence program lines of program in your programming language. So a variable is nothing but a name given to a storage area that the program can manipulate. So each variable in Go has a specific type which determines size and layout of variable's memory. So and also, so the name of variable can be composed with the latest digits and an underscore characters. I think we'll see a naming convention and the rules of giving a variable name also. So basically, this Go language is a case sensitive. So based on the basic types and given names, you must carry same name in your program, and that's how it is following the case sensitive. So as I said, basically these variables being used to store the values in memory storage space, and which determines the size and scope of your variable which you are going to use in your program. So let's quickly get into this. So Go language variables. So in Go language, we have three types of variables. One is byte and integer and float. So these three type of variables we are basically using in Go programming language. So uh, three type of variables, three type of variables we use in Go language. So there are, one is byte. So basically a single byte type. So one byte. So typically a single byte. Okay, this is in a byte type. This is a byte type. Okay, and second variable was integer type. So the most natural size of integer for the machine. So the most natural size of integer for the machine. And third one is float 32. So a single precision floating point value. A single precision uh, floating value. So Go programming language basically defines these three main variables, and also it allows to define various other types of variables such as enumeration, union, and derived, etc., etc. But basically, these three are very important. It basically stores values in these relevant data types. The Boolean stores values with two states, true or false, and integer. And I think remove this byte integer, and this is okay. So one is a byte, and second one is integer type and float types. So these three variables we use it in Go language, and so if you want to declare a variable in Go language, so you must use a var keyword. So it is a part of your 25 keywords in the Go language. So declaring of variables. So there are actually two ways to declare a variable. So two ways. One way is with the var keyword, right? So use the var keyword to define a variable. Syntax was var and variable name and type and equal to value. Okay. So you always have to specify either a type or a value or both. Okay. And the second way was with the colon equal. Okay. And the sign. So use this colon equal sign followed by the variable value. So the syntax was, so variable name colon equal to value. So note in this case, the type of variable is infer from the value, means that the compiler decides the type of no variable at runtime based on the value. So it is not possible to declare a variable using colon equal without assigning a value to it. So we must specify the value in this case. Okay. So what I'm going to trying to explain here is basically when you define this second approach of variable declaration, you must specify uh, a value. Without a value, I think it is not possible to declare a variable using colon, equal symbol, equal sign. Okay, so let's see like how it is using in the programming language uh, with initial values. Let me go to the editor here, my editor, one of my editor, which I have already opened, and create some program here. Say like I'm going to read some values and print a student stuff or something. So details.go, and in this details.go, I'll use initial value syntax here. If the value of variable is known from the start, you can declare the variables and assign a value of it. So I'll start with package main and again import fmt and again function main. So here I'm defining my variables like student of type string, job. So this is a string type. And I'll declare another variable student2 string equal to Jane. Okay. This is also string type, but I'll do one thing. So I'll just assign string. So type is infer. That means at runtime it will decide. And another type of declaring is x and is the variable and defining it here using second way of declaring a variable colon equal to, again this is type of infer. Now I'm going to print this ln student1 of student2 and next is x. Okay, so if you run this, go back to your prompt here, go run details.go. So this prints string first was John and second one was Jane and third is 2. So the variable type of student 2 and x is inferred from their values. That means at runtime it will decides the type of variables. The first thing is a string and second it is an integer. That's how it is calculating value. Run your Go program. Okay. So this is something like declaring a variable in different approaches. One is a straightforward approach using var keyword, and the second thing is just defining using just assigning a value, and third thing is you just use semicolon and equal symbol. So that way, I think you declare a variable and run your program, and at runtime it will convert the uh, no declared variable to relevant data type based on the value. So in either of case, you must give a value. Without giving a value in the second and third approach, it should not infer the type of variable at runtime. So you must give a value for these two approaches. And first approach, anyway, I think you can still declare without value. But in second and the third approach, I think you must define value also. And next thing is multiple variable declaration. So how to define multiple variables here? I think coming to here, I can use var and say A and B and C and D. So of type integer equal to 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me use some space. Now I'll print these variables here. Print ln of A, and this is B, and this is C, and this is D. And when I run the same program, it prints my variables 1, 3, 4, 5, and then it prints other variable values. So this is something defining multiple variables in the same line with same data types. And I think next one is naming convention of a variable name. So how to define a variable name. So as other programming languages have like kind of rules, similar rules we have in Go variable naming also. Like variable name must start with a letter or underscore character. A variable name cannot start with a digit. So a variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscore. And there is no limit on the length of the variable name in the Go language. Variable name cannot contain spaces, so we should not give any spaces. Like if I give like this, it won't accept it. So it must be in single word. The variable name cannot be any Go keywords, which I have explained in the earlier sessions of Go keywords 25. And we should not give any keywords here. Suppose if I want to give env, it won't accept. If I want to say break, it won't accept. So you must not use keywords of Go language as part of variable name. So another thing was variable names with more than one word can be difficult to read. So there are several techniques you can use it to make them more readable. Like there are different kind of naming conventions we have. Camel case, so and Pascal case and snake case. So these are the different types of notations we have it as like other languages having that part of declaring a variable or function name. So if you look at the snake case, each word is separated by a underscore character, right? So each word is separated with underscore character. example, like, my variable name, right, equal to BRR. So it has different words here, but it was joined with underscore, right? And this is snake notation. And again, Pascal notation, if you look at each word starts with a capital letter. Each word starts with capital letter. Example, my variable name equal to BRR. And again, in the camel notation, each word except the first starts with a capital letter. Each word except the first starts with capital letter. Example, my variable equal to BR. So these are some of the multi-word variable names, because variable names with more than one word can be difficult to read. So we must use these techniques as part of variable declaration, and still with all no conventions, notation supports by Go language. Okay, so these are some of the variable related description about how to use in Go language, and how to define a variable or multiple variables, and how variable name is being defined, the rules, and if you want to define a variable name with multiple words, how you are going to define it using different naming notations in Go language, and that's it. So these are all about variable name declarations in the Go language. So I hope you understand the kind of syntax, how to define a variable name, and different variables, how you are defining in a single line using the same data type, and also the notations of defining a variable with multi-word for the beautification of readability of your variable name using different notations, Camel and Pascal and Snake. So thanks for listening this video, and please subscribe this channel for more videos. Thank you.